But yeah, and we started Paper Street, 14 years ago, I think, just making bad short films. And whatever the opposite of a Nepo baby is, that's what we are. And so we just kind of, we made stuff and it stuck less and it stuck less, and then we got to make a feature and it just kind of spiraled. But we did it all ourselves and kind of bootstrapped it from the ground up. And so, I've written, I've first aid lead, I've done a little bit of everything. And so, hopefully I can help speak to whatever you want to know. But I've been doing this now for a little while, and hopefully we keep doing it.
Yeah,
I'm Ethan Ervin. Hello, everyone. I am a producer and writer. I used to run Silver Pictures and Dark Castle Entertainment. I produced the Sherlock Holmes films with Robert Downey. I did a film called The Book of Eli with Denzel Washington. I did a movie called The Nice Guys. Nice Guys. Just write to your senators, your congresspeople. Tell them we need more sequels to that movie. But Nice Guys with Shane Black's movie, with Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe, and I get all the orphan films and others that I will not name.
Now I feel like I should have named more movies.
Go ahead. No, it's fine. You can when it comes back to you. And then just last year, Meredith and I started our own company, Beryllium Entertainment. I'll let her talk a bit about that and what brought us here.
Hi, I am Meredith Berg, and I wrote and directed Tether, a short film that played today. And
Rated highly on Letterboxd.
if you're on Letterboxd and you liked it, please say so. If you didn't like it, please never tell me.
Just don't.
So Ethan and I, we just started our production company last year. We specialize in genre films and television. And we met in college. I was a theater director. I directed off-Broadway, a Julius Caesar adaptation. I directed in England. And then, as I was telling some people tonight, I saw the movie Brazil. And that changed me completely and made me come over to the dark side. And when we moved out to LA, Ethan started at Silver Pictures. I knew there was a lot I didn't know since I came from theater, so I assisted a producer as well. And then I ended up bringing in a script that Ethan wrote, and I produced his first film, which is a horror film called Solstice. And we've always been on the same wavelength. Aliens is our favorite film.
It's true. So, yeah, Jim Cameron.
It's the best. And we've always been in each other's corner. Like this is one big piece of advice right now. A rising tide lifts all boats. Like help each other, work with each other, get feedback from each other. I developed the script with him as he was writing it. He has developed the scripts that I wrote. I wrote a film called Dementia that came out in 2015. And everything that I've written, I make him read 1 million times, and everything he writes, I read 1 million times. And that is find your people, find the people on your wavelength. And I'm already moving into the Q&A portion. But anyway, so I produced some things, and I was going up the ladder there, and then I got scooped by a company that did comic books and would make them into film and TV. Our biggest was Cowboys and Aliens.
Nice.
And the comic book world is a wild ride. And then I got into AFI's Directing Workshop for Women program, which is a really great grant program for women directors to basically go to AFI for free for a year, which is a lot less than it normally costs to go there. And he produced the short film I made while I was there. And at that point, he had made a few films, but doing stuff through a school, there's a lot of red tape. It's really hard. There's a lot of extra pressure and stress. And we decided if we could survive him producing and me directing, we could get married.
Yeah, that's the real production.
That was a production. And so we knew someday we wanted to combine forces more than just always helping each other out. 2 years ago, I shot Tether, and while we were, this was during the strike, and so we had a SAG short film agreement. We're able to get in our favorite people over the years that we had worked in this business, and all of them were like, this is our favorite experience. What are you two doing next? We want to work with you. And there was this moment where we looked at each other like, what are we two doing next? And you had run Silver Pictures and Dark Castle, and you were talking about what's next. And that just, like, Tether was the reason that we knew it was time. And so yes, we've been open for about a year, and we specialize in big action comedy things. Like we have a Jason Statham movie that David Leitch is directing called Jason Statham Stole My Bike, which is going to be a really big fun one. And then I'm directing my first feature, my debut feature next year, which is a supernatural horror, and that's very representative of what we do.
New player, guys. New player.
Is adding
Every
people? Is
time,
that allowed?
Yeah, we're gonna keep adding. By the end, we're all doing. Everyone's
We can vote it off.
Humberto Rosa, everybody. You talked to us about international. So talk about your backstory, why you're doing it.
I don't know. I'm Humberto Rosa. I'm from Brazil. I moved to LA like 2016 when I met those guys, and I've been producing movies since 2008. I have a company in Brazil that we've been producing comedies. Now we're going to start to produce horrors in Brazil as well, but I have a company in Berg as well that we've been producing quite a feature films. We just recently producing a movie called Dead Man's Wire that was directed by Leslie Sun with Al Pacino, Calvo Domingo, Chris Skarsgård. Had like there was a world premiere in Venice this year and North American premiere in Chief. I'm producing feature films. We did like a movie called Wish You Were Here that was directed by Julie Stiles. I directed a psychological thriller a few years ago called Dangerous Method. There was a Lifetime Channel movie, and I directed Sakura. That's of course I didn't change it. There was screening like two days ago.
Yeah, you opened the festival.
Yeah.
You opened the festival. A curse.
And we've been filming a lot of. We're doing a lot of projects right now. We are in production, development, and post-production of around like 10 films right now. And I'm just glad to be here. So talented, so many talented people. And that we have a lot of friends in common. So it's like a small industry.
Small town.
Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate it.
Woo!
So many cool people in the industry. I don't know.
You're the coolest of us all.
Yeah, what about you?
Who's the man behind the mic? No, thanks so much, Brandon, for starting this festival. I've been helping this host since 2019. My biggest claim to fame, my acting fame, is helping post on the top actor in Hollywood in 2016. I've been going downhill since then. Just hosting. No. Thank you guys.
What about the movie we did? Yeah.
We worked together on something, Don't Look Bad.
Don't Look Bad, yeah.
Sorry, short film.
Short film.
Yeah. But that was great. We wrote it. We did it with Jeff Howard. Great stuff. But for you guys, Meredith, you started talking about like networking and these things and the importance of coming to these things. I'm assuming a lot of writers come to you guys all the time. We want to make things happen for them. So as producers, what's like the right approach to network with you? What's the right, like, what do you want to hear in pitches? You know, all that good stuff. We can go one by one, whoever wants to jump in.
Yeah, sure.
Go for it.
Yeah, no, like I think as a producer, as a writer, always looking for something music, or something that, it could be something that already be done, but be shown the different way. Like I think horror is one of the genres that's always get reinvented. Like we can be actually have like a good like surprise movies. Like we are literally in an industry that we can be creating anything we want. So like when we bring something unique, something that would be fun to do, I think fun is I think is the point. Like we have to be enjoying what we're doing. So yeah, like projects that we're doing something different, with some message as well. That's like for me. Like, I think like all kind of like a horror genres as well, like a supernatural slasher, even like a found footage. I started doing found footage, so like I think there's a big space for found footage as well. And I'm just looking for cool projects.
Yeah, I think networking is humongously important. It really is, and I know a lot of filmmakers are introverts and they don't necessarily want to network, but like filmmaking is a team sport, and like getting out and meeting like-minded people is like a huge part of what you have to do. And I think it's about networking without trying to push an agenda or without doing it in like kind of a sweaty, like what can I get out of this person sort of way. It's making friends and making acquaintances and getting to know people in the industry, and like it's not about what can I get out of them now. It's this is a person that 10 years from now maybe I'll see a script and be like, that I know the perfect person for that. Like I can't think of the amount of times that like I met someone on the festival circuit and we just kind of became friends, and no one tried to get anything out of anybody, and then 8 years later it's like, oh, Brandon would be the perfect person to direct this movie, and I know that guy because we're friends now. And so like it's just about getting to know people who are doing it and like-minded people, because you never know what you're going to need. It could just be someone to read your script. It could just be someone to tell you the truth when other people aren't. And like, it's a hard thing to get unless you get out there and meet those people. As far as screenwriting and what we're looking for is from a kind of a company standpoint, from a what you're writing sort of thing. I think write what you want to write what you love. Don't chase trends. Don't do that. But like, also, there should be like a point to what you're writing. Like, if I had $1 for every time I had to read a haunted house movie that was exactly like the last haunted house movie, I'd have many dollars. And if you love haunted house movies, cool, write a haunted house movie. But what hasn't been done in haunted house? What's been done a bunch, and you can say like, oh well, I'm gonna flip that. I'm gonna change that. Like, it's really hard to write a movie. It's really hard to make a movie, and so like there needs to be a reason for that thing to exist, and it needs to have something to say. It needs to have a perspective, but it also needs to be doing something that you haven't seen 1,000 times. I think, especially in horror, people fall into the trap of like, I love slasher movies, so I'm going to make a slasher movie. And it's like, okay, cool, but like everybody and their mother's made a slasher movie, and so like, what's different about your slasher movie? What is your slasher movie doing that other movies aren't? And I think if you do that, that's the way to kind of rise to the top, because honestly, there's not a lot of great scripts floating around, and there's not a lot of great writers. And so if you're writing stuff that's interesting, and if you're a good writer and you have a take and you have interesting things to say, it will rise to the top. And so I think just be cognizant of that. Be cognizant of like, if someone's going to read this and go, I've seen this in every other movie just like this, maybe go back to the drawing board and say like, what can I do here to differentiate myself from the other 25 haunted house movies I'm going to read?
That's exactly what we
No, damn it.
Don't
That's
you steal my
exactly-
idea.
How dare you?
Because you're just going to say it better, and then
No, I can't.
No,
No.
like that is so much what we say.
That is yes.
Yeah.
And look, we just met, and we clearly have the same, feel the
are
same
we
way.
best friends now?
I think we're best friends. No, this is networking. So
This is networking.
No, but the reality is, you never know where an opportunity will come from, and so everyone you meet, treat people with respect. I think is the thing that people seem to forget, because you'll meet people, and there's a seemingly great kind of power differential between certain people you meet in Hollywood when you are an executive and they are just like an intern. And I've been on both sides of that. And I think it's important to treat everyone with respect, because everyone is here because they love it. They are here because they want to work hard. And also they're human beings, so it's worth treating them kindly for that. But also, again, 10 years down the line, that person, I've got one of my interns, like from 2010 is Parker Finn, who did Smile. And like, so now if we have projects that could be right for him, I can just call him, and I don't have to like, go through the whole rigmarole one might have to do. For me, it's always just, as I say, you never know where an opportunity will come from. So just get to know people on a human level. Just connect with people, because that's what we're trying to do anyways through the screen. And you can also just do it in person. So I think that's important, and then the opportunities will come from that. But I'll let you, if you want to talk about what we actually look for. I was trying to give you time to think of a way to phrase it differently than what Cameron said.
No, I'm sorry. Cameron nailed it.
Could I get that in writing?
Yeah, exactly. And Ethan, you did great too, but Cameron nailed it. No, I think that there's a lot of that in what we're looking for. There is the whole, what is it that you're doing with it that makes it yours? What is it that's going to set it apart? And it's not just about being different. It's about having something to say. And what we say is literally you're saying, like, it takes so long to make a movie. It is so hard, and it is so much work. And it's like, what are you doing with this? What are you leaving behind? Why did we do all this? And so if you can't answer the question, which often falls under like theme, or like that's a great way you could discuss it. Like, what are you doing with this? What are you trying to connect with people about? And at the end of the day, it's like what you're saying, it's all about connection. The way you connect people in film, the way you connect people when you network, all these, like, that's what art is about, is you're trying to have a moment that someone sees themselves in. And so if you're doing a haunted house movie, it's not like it has to be trauma porn. It's not like, oh, this is, this is what's horrible that's happening to me, and I want to get it out there. It could be, but really it just has to be very personal. And the more specific you get, the more universal it will become. And what we always look for is we want the entertainment, the popcorn. That is who we are. We like commercial. We like crowd pleasing. We like all that, but it has to be about something. And it could be political. My upcoming feature film very much takes on capitalism, or it could just be emotional. It could be about grief. It could be about loneliness. But again, if you take on grief, a lot of people have. What is it that you're saying? The Babadook is a brilliant film, not just because it's scary, but because of that ending and what it has to say about grief and how it never goes away. You'll never not be haunted. And that's a really powerful message. And I would say also, in terms of scripts floating around, I know a lot of people who are very talented writers who do not have a breakout script. And one of the reasons is I think they think, but I did the assignment. I did it, I followed the steps. I would have gotten an A in class. And it's like, yes, but I don't care about the story. Like, the structure is right, the dialogue is good, but I don't care. And when we get projects, I wear a few different hats. I have a director hat, producer hat, writer hat. We have a producer hat and a writer hat. And different things appeal to me in different ways. But what makes us so excited is when a story is super personal, but then it's like, and this is kind of how it always feels when, and this is what makes me so mad right now, that we're all mad about. Horror and sci-fi is a vessel, like, for us to talk about stuff. We don't have, the water cooler talk anymore, I don't think, but what would the water cooler talk be? What would be the thing everyone talks about the next day? I like to say Barbie didn't make $1.5 billion just because of the doll. I think the doll, you make 500. It made 1.5 because everyone talked, love it or hate it, everyone talked about it. It had a lot to say. It took very big swings. Ethan was talking to an executive who oversaw that right before it came out, and he was like, can you tell me anything about what you're expecting? And she was like, either I'm fired or I'm promoted. Like, I don't know. Like, this is a wild one. It could go either way, but we took so many big swings, I don't know what's going to happen. And you kind of have to, have something to say and go for it.
Yeah. No, I think that's exactly what she was promoted, by the way. Someday she'll run the studio.
She's going to run that studio.
Someday she'll run the studio.
Yeah.
But, and the other thing, on a much more mercenary level, at least for when we look at stuff, and probably the same with you folks, yes, it has to be, something that speaks to us. It has to have strong themes, strong characters, be well written. But even if we love something, we have to know, how can we sell it?
How can we?
And maybe somebody else could do it. Like, A24 would do great with this. Like, this is not for us. Mm-hmm. But, we have to know, how would we market it? Again, very mercenarily, what's the poster? Mm-hmm. What would a trailer for this movie be? Mm-hmm. How can we envision, the entire process? Because otherwise, as much as we love it, we're not the right ones to get it done.
Yeah, we have to be additive.
Yes, exactly. We have to be additive.
We have to be additive.
Is there any projects that you passed on that you either regretted or it worked out for the best?
These are fun.
I mean, geez.
These are going to be fun.
Turn that camera off. I'm kidding.
Don't post this part, yeah.
So we didn't do Barbie.
Yeah. Too wild to swing.
Yeah, I mean, come on. It's about a doll. Nobody wants that.
No, for me, no, I just kidding. I don't think I have too many. No, I don't think I have.
He's
to be
perfect.
around it.
Oh,
No, but I regret.
1000%.
No, I think
He's
like
never
it's
gonna
always
hurt.
also learning, the learning process. Like you know, you fail, and like I love every single project that we work with because it makes me grow and learn. So like yeah, it's a process. But of course, like we always think like I should be doing better in the one, or we should be looking for something similar. But as you said, like commercial, I'm working on with genres. Like yeah, it's kind of hard to say like there's one that it regrets. I don't think so.
Good.
Yeah, we haven't had any big ones, thank God. We're not the guys who passed on like Friends, but like we haven't had. We've had stuff that we passed on come out, but nothing where I've just been like, man, we really kind of screwed the pooch on that. We've had projects that we really liked and that we chased that have come out and done really well, but like I always kind of think like, and I think people kind of always say this, but it is really true. Like they did it better than we would have done it. Like you were saying, like just because it's a cool idea doesn't mean you're necessarily the right person to do it. Like there's things that we do well and there's things that we don't do as well or don't do at all. And like there's plenty of cool ideas that we're just not the right company for, we're not the right people for. I mean, we try to, we've made a pretty wide swath of stuff, but we try to, horror with heart is kind of our go-to thing, and like we're very similar to you guys in the sense that we want to do stuff that's fun. We don't want to do a bunch of trauma porn, a bunch of trauma horror. We want to do stuff that's fun that people that find exciting, and we try to stick with that. Not every movie's like that, but yeah, I mean, I think there's plenty of movies that you'd love to do and you don't get to do, and you just kind of move on from there. But it doesn't mean you were the right person to do it. So that's kind of the way I always look at it.
I mean, as an intern, I did read a script or a book. It was the first half of a book. But I was like, I just do not get this book.
Unfinished book.
It was an unfinished book. It was like the first half of the book was the galleys. It was like the first half of the book, and I'm like,
Please say Harry Potter.
no, not that old. No, this was like in 2005. But like,
Hunger Games?
no, it was. I'm going to tell you,
Twilight.
guys. I'm going to tell you. Just give me a second. But I didn't get it. I didn't get it, and I was like, it wasn't for me. I don't know if we're the right ones to do this. It was the Da Vinci Code, because I was like, the Da Vinci Code.
That book.
The book sucks.
You getting that?
Keep it. Okay. It's not a good book.
Don't put that on.
They made they did, I think, the best job they could with the movie, but there's no real actual story. It's just like, here's this puzzle thing and here's a thing, and I'm like, this isn't for me. I could never connect emotionally with what was going on. But it was a good lesson to me to just consider things a bit more. But no, I passed on things that I was just like, this isn't for us, we shouldn't make it. And yeah, somebody else made it, and you're like, they did a good job. The only one that I was obsessed with, and there was a brief period where we were involved, was that movie Passengers. It was an earlier draft of the script, and I loved it. I thought it was an incredible script. And then by the time the movie came out, it had gone through so many revisions, and I'm like, it's probably for the best I didn't make that movie. It's probably for the best. And then there's things that, well, certainly you have one that you...
I do.
Yeah, that you really wanted to do.
I worked at a company where they did independent financing, and they would do what's called gap loans and bridge financing, which is often when an independent film has all of its money and is about to shoot, but the problem is sometimes the money releases first day of principal photography. And there's a lot of costs in prep before the first day of principal photography. So then you can go and you get a loan, and it's a pretty safe loan because you probably have your cast and you're already prepping and you already have your location. So it's something where if you are the person loaning it, you are last in, you're the last to give them money, and you're first out, you're first to get your money back. And so I had a job where I would read the scripts that they were doing financial deals on, and they would ask me, how is the script? Is it, if the deal was good enough, they might just do it anyway. But if the script was good, they'd try and get their name on it. And so I would not even sometimes whether or not it should be made, but whether or not we wanted any credit. And so that was very interesting. And there were a few films that were made. One of them had really big stars, and I was like, this is the creepiest script I've ever read. We don't want to touch it.
Not creepy in a good way.
Not creepy in a good way. No. I mean, okay, you're gonna like censor this, but okay. I believe it was Robin Williams, Mandy Moore, and
John Krasinski. No,
John
John
Krasinski.
No. It was License to Wed.
License to Wed.
Oh.
And when the script came to us, it's basically Mandy Moore wants to marry John Krasinski, and she's going to her the priest that has been her priest her whole life to marry him, and he's very jealous of this wedding and keeps trying to block it through the course of mentoring them through all the steps of the Catholic Church that they have to go through to get married. And it's because he's really in love with her. But this is a guy who she was a child, and it's Robin Williams and Mandy Moore. I was like, I don't think we want our name on this. And then it horribly bombed, so I feel pretty good about that. But there was one that I chased that we did not get, which was a script that had an interesting, I think, turnaround window where Warner's lost the ability to make it for something like 6 months, and other people could come in, and I believe it was a $60 million budget, and they had 30. And so they came to us to be like, can we get the other 30 from you? You have this much time to decide. And I read it, and I was like, the script isn't perfect, but it's electrifying. And I'm so excited by it, and the director had only done one movie, but it's really well regarded, and he did a very good job. He kind of like brought life back to a franchise. I think he's gonna do some cool stuff. We've never heard of this actor, but he seems really cool. He was in an indie in Scotland, and I think he did a great job. And there's a lot of things you have to just take a big leap on, but I'm telling you, this is the leap. There hasn't been a movie like this for a while. This is the leap. And that movie was 300.
Oh, wow.
And my company ultimately was like 30 million is a huge leap, too big for us. And they passed. And I was really bummed. I was very vocally bummed about it for a while. But, and so these things happen where you have to analyze, for so many reasons you have to analyze. And again, like you guys are talking about, whether or not it's good, is it good for you? Like, are you the right person? And do you know the person who's looking for this at Universal? Whereas it's like, no. So there's so many factors that go into it. It's really hard to distill them all. But hopefully, like this range of answers gives you an idea that you could be doing amazing work. There's so many factors that go into why something sells or happens.
Okay, thank you. This is actually for the filmmakers and the writers and the actors in here. I love inspiring stories, so like, was there a moment that you wanted to give up and wanted to quit, but what made you kind of get out of that hole? What inspired you to keep going?
Every single day.
Before coming here.
Yeah, he quit this morning. I was there. It was an ugly scene.
Yeah, exactly. Literally, it's a really tough industry. You always have to be fighting and try to reinvent yourself and but it's kind of addictive. It's kind of a drug. You can't stop. Like even though if you've been working for years in a movie and turn out that very stressful moment, and then you think that would be my last project that was so stressful. And when you see the movie get released, it's kind of like a baby get born. So oh my God, I need to get back to the set. So it's kind of like a love and hate at the same time. So for me, keep doing is kind of like a passion and a drug. We are addicted for that. So every single day I want to give up and I want to make a new movie.
Yeah, I'll give you a really concrete version of this answer. So early on when we were making features, I think it was our third feature, we had made a movie called Camera Obscura with Universal, which kind of came out and the world collectively yawned. Then we made a movie called Scare Package that went to Shudder and everyone really loved. Thank you.
Those are both great.
There's one in every room. There's one in every room that people really loved. It was great. And then so we were starting to feel ourselves. And we had a movie called The Pale Door, which was a horror western, very cool script. It had a little bit of money, not nearly enough, but I mean, this is a horror western with witches, huge makeup effects, giant cast, period-specific wardrobe, horses, coyotes, basically everything you're not supposed to do that makes a movie hard.
You have
And,
kids as well?
We did, a smidge, a little bit of kids. Kids were not the problem on this one. And, but we just didn't have, we kind of, still to this day, kind of pride ourselves on being people who can get a lot of movie out of a little bit of money, and you kind of have to be if you work in the indie space. And we went into this one with kind of that intention, and it kind of kicked us in the ass. And like, it was just really, really hard. It was only our third movie. We didn't, it's a lot of stuff we just didn't know, but like, there was one day where we knew this location was trouble. It was down a hill. It was hard to get to, and we were like, man, if it rains, we're fucked. And it rained 3 straight days. So we already are spread too thin. We don't have the location support we need. In order to get our actors there, we have to get them ready at the hotel. To put them in a car, we have to drive them to set. We have to then put them in a different car, a 4-wheel drive, to take them down the hill. To then put them on a 4-wheeler to get them to set. So that doesn't work well. There's probably like by 2 o'clock, this is an overnight, so by 2, 3 in the morning, 6 or 7 cars are stuck in the mud. The grip truck is stuck. Everything is stuck. We aren't getting people ready fast enough. We have nowhere to put them when we're there. Like, everything that can go wrong is going wrong. The sun's coming up in like 4 hours. We've got all this stuff that has to be in this one location. I mean, by the end of the night, we were throwing like PAs in cowboy hats on horses and shooting wides of the sun coming up. And like, all that's going on, and then the SAG rep shows up. And we're just like, oh, great, because we're doing everything totally on board.
So they were able to make it down the hill just fine.
So the SAG rep shows up, and the most hilarious thing of the whole thing is that after being there for like an hour, I'm like, they're going to shut us down. We are all going to go home. It's the last day of the first week, and this guy is going to be like, nope. And the SAG rep goes, you guys run a real tight shoot, and then left. And I was just like, I don't know what else this guy's saying. So all this stuff's going on. We make like half our day. Everyone's pissed off. There's like a mutiny growing. It's like we say, like, as the producers, we're like we send everybody home. We send PAs home. We're like, we'll put all this shit up. We'll deal with all this stuff. So we put all the equipment up ourselves. Everyone leaves except for myself and another producer named Roman Dent. And we're like, well, someone's got to get all this shit unstuck. How? Unclear. But we're going to do it because we're stupid. And so we get in this 4-wheel drive car. We drive down the hill. We get, I don't know, 100 feet. And we get stuck. Then we get out, and no one's here. No one's around to help. We get out of the car, and like a Charlie Brown cartoon, it just starts pouring out of nowhere. And I just, like, the whole week had been hard. Everything was bad. There's no one to call. We're just like, so then we're just like walking up the hill. And like, we just start, like that thing in the movies that you don't think is real, we just start cackling uncontrollably, like crazy people. And I look at Roman and I say, and I will never forget this, my dad died 3 months ago, and right now is the worst day of my life. And I meant it when I said it. And we walked the rest of the way up this hill in the pouring rain. We get to a gate, a truck drives by, drives past us, then stops, backs up, and goes, you guys at the film shoot? Yeah. He goes, oh, your shit's stuck, isn't it? Yes, sir. Correct. He's like, hold on, let me go get my trailer, we'll get you out. This guy goes, never met this guy in my life. Guy goes and gets the trailer, gets all our shit unstuck. The next day we throw a cast and crew party, which we should have done at the beginning, which get everybody together at the beginning of the shoot, it helps. We get everybody together, and at that point, it didn't get easy, but it got easier, and everybody kind of came together. But man, like, there will be times where the film industry will try to break you, and like, you're either gonna break or you're not. And like, if you want to do it, and if this is what you want to do, and if you're dumb enough to get along on this ride, you just gotta kind of eat shit and soldier through it, and know that you'll figure it out. And it'll get better, and just don't make those same stupid mistakes twice. And so I know that was long-winded, but I'll say all that to say, I did another movie a couple of years ago. We've now made close to 20 movies. Did another movie a couple of years ago where I showed up very late because I was coming off another movie. And I was like, hey, send me the schedule, send me all the stuff. And they send me the stuff, and they're like, I was like, oh man, you guys are in trouble. You're heading for an iceberg because of this, and this. They're like, no, I think we're going to be fine. We've made movies before. I was like, all right, your funeral. And so by the end of the first week, everything I said happened. And they were like, holy shit, you're like a genius. I was like, no, there's this movie called The Pale Door, and I did all of this shit before, and it sucked. And like, that's all it is. It's like, don't make the same mistakes over and over again, and eventually you run out of mistakes.
I wanted to quit when I heard that story.
I
That
mean-
was that is what makes me. That, I never wanted to.
Thank God the next day we drank a lot.
Yeah, I never wanted to quit. I don't think. Oh, but my parents work in aviation, and there is an expression about helicopters, which is the second a helicopter comes off the assembly line, it is trying to kill you. And in that same way, the film industry, as you say, is also trying to kill you, and it's out for you, and that's fine. I mean, Joel Silver, who I worked for, was a big producer who did Die Hard, Lethal Weapon, Matrix, and
I've heard of him.
Yeah, and a couple other things. He would say, even in his moments of greatest success, even when I was working for him, when he, it was post the Matrix movies and we were doing Sherlock Holmes, he's like, as a movie producer or as a filmmaker generally, your job is to get up every day, pick up the phone, and know you're going to be told the word no like 500 times. And if you can get one yes about anything, it doesn't have to be like a greenlit movie. It could be like, hey, this one actor is going to maybe look at the script. Great. You've done your job. If you get more than one yes, even better. But like, that is your job. And the thing that we tell the interns is do it because you love it. Do it because you like working with people. You like problem solving. You like storytelling. Because you like collaborating. There are so many other ways to make money. There's so many other ways to easier ways.
There
are many easier ways
Be
to
a
make
lawyer.
money and live, and live your life. I mean, the people that I talk to and guys you grow up with who they're like, yeah, at 5 o'clock every day I'm done and I just go and live my life. I'm like, that is insane to me. Like, we never turn it off. There is no separation of work-life balance. Like, at 1 in.the morning, she'll be like, hey, wait a minute. We got to do this email to this person, or we got to do this, that, or the other. I'll wake up to texts that she wrote me like 4 in.the morning of reminder, or here's a great movie idea, or whatever. So you do it because you love it, because it is great, and if you love it, it's the greatest thing in the world. And you just do it because you can't not do it.
Yeah.
And that will get you through. And then, by the way, eventually, in theory, the money does come. Like you will
When?
Well,
The money?
it's all relative, but I will say the first year I worked in LA, I made $12,000, and I make more than that now. So, maybe not a lot more, but I feel like I make at least more than $12,000 a year. And then there's something that you talk about, which I'll let you talk about more, but just the concept of delusional optimism.
Oh, yeah. No, I think to survive in this business, you have to be delusional in an optimistic way. You have to be like, I can still do it. Actually, someone said to me, like, how do I know if I'm wasting my time, if this is what I should be doing? And I said, because there's going to be so many setbacks, but is that the setback? Like, how do you know? And I said, I think of it like the tide. Like, is the tide coming in? Because, a wave comes in and then it goes away, but the next wave's a little bit further. And then it goes away, but then the next wave's a little bit further. Like, is the tide coming in? Or is the tide going out? And if the tide is going out, talk to people who will tell you the truth and listen. But let's see. Oh, so about, I think I'm with Humberto like every day. I'm like, I'm done. And then every day I'm like, but I can't leave. I've got this idea. I really want to do it. I read this fun thing that was like bravery and fear are the same sensation. And I was like, that's true. Like when you're going through it, you're going through it, and bravery is just you don't stop. Honestly, on Tether, it was an impossible shoot. I shot that in 2 days, and we had so many stunts, and the techno crane for only 6 hours a day, and that's all we could do with the stunts. And there were so many times that I would stand there and things are moving, and everything's orchestrated and things are going as everyone's doing their best and it's humming, but you sit there and you have a moment and you're like, I was like, I could just walk out the stage door. It's open. No one would stop me. I would just go. And we think that through, and then I just think, okay, I'm just gonna do the next shot. You just gotta do the next shot. You put one foot in front of the other, and you just don't stop. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, just think small. one shot at a time, one page at a time, one meeting at a time, one networking event at a time. You're always gonna feel like, am I insane? Because we are all insane. You have to be. You have to be. You have to be. And there's ways to do check-ins about it. That it's not like that doesn't exist, but you just gotta just keep pushing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Before we turn it over to the audience, I'd love to know, so you've been here for 3-4 days already, so what is something you love or that you've learned about the local film community? Who are your locals? Any locals? Wrong question.
I've learned they don't exist.
They don't exist, they're not here.
They're all back directly.
They're right there.
Yeah, no, I met some really impressive locations. Some stories about movies that were shot here. So that was really cool because I have no idea how filming in Tucson would be cool. So,
Yeah, it's a very cool city. I was here last year, and I'm here again this year. And yeah, I'm only here. I don't have a movie in the past. I'm here because I had a great time last year. And I wanted to come back, and so. And I like the guys around the festival. Don't tell them they're fun. They've already got the big heads, but no. I mean, I think it's just a very cool city with a very interesting vibe with a lot of cool locations. I was lucky last year to be able to. I didn't get to do all the tour stuff, but I was able to go downtown. I was able to look at U of A and some of the places. And there was the missile silo thing. There's just a lot of very cool locations here and a lot of very cool stuff. So and also the film commission, who's been kind enough to I believe sponsor this festival, but also really help out and talk to us and stuff. They've been very cool, and it's a very film friendly city. I know there's a ton of film festivals here. There's 6 or 7 total within the year. So it's just a very film friendly city, and I hope to at some point be able to shoot a movie here. But I really like it.
I mean, what I love about Tucson and people I've met is it's a very creative city, and there are a lot of very creative cities that you go to, but some of them feel very insular. Some of them feel like they're not as kind of accepting. They're not as kind of open. And this city feels incredibly open in terms of just the different types of stories that people want to tell, the different types of art that people can make. I love that, and and just in talking to people, it also revitalizes sort of my sense of creativity because it's very, as from the stories we just told, incredibly easy to become jaded and knowing that every day you wake up is going to be a fight, and you become cynical about it. And so to meet people who were just so excited about it, excited about storytelling, excited about being creative, excited about connection, that it revitalizes me as well. And again. And Monica and everyone at Film Tucson, it's been incredible, and thank you so much for everything, for showing us around and for just being so welcoming and warm.
I was gonna say I was gonna say the same thing, Film Tucson, it's been really impressive welcome, and they're such wonderful hosts, and I think that one of the coolest things is Monica told us right when she said this, we don't just do Westerns, and we have more than just Westerns, and then we've seen amazing missile silos, churches, missions, old neighborhoods, stuff that's great for Westerns, and also small cities, and every place we go, the mantra has been, they're very excited to have you here, they're very excited to work with you, like what you're saying, it feels like a very open, inclusive, excited, creative city.
Amazing.
Sorry, not to piggyback, but I will say, one of the things I love about this festival in particular, but also just kind of film festivals in general, is you can get jaded, especially if you've been doing it a long time and you're dealing with studios and agencies and all those people. It's work. It's work to them, and it's work to me too, I guess. But I love film festivals because you show up and there's a bunch of people who are trying to break in, and for them it's not work. You're reminded that you're super lucky to be able to do this for work. There's a bunch of people who just do this shit for free because they love it, and we're so fortunate to be able to do what we do. That it's nice to be around people when they're at the beginning of that journey, because it really kind of breathes life and revitalizes you and reminds you, why you do it in the first place.
And Cameron, can I say anything?
No. It only flows this way.
I just want to add on to that. The horror festivals, genre festivals, especially, like, it's the most welcoming crowd. It's the most welcoming community. Yes. Like, that is where you find people who are just so excited. Someone came up to me once and said, at the horror festival, and said, "Thank you for making something for me." And I just think that just really represents everything about the horror community. It's the most positive, the most friendly, the most welcoming. Look out for the comedians there. But the horror people are the best, absolutely the best audiences, the best people. I'm biased.
Comedians are miserable.
And with that, do we have any audience questions? Don't be shy.
I feel maybe we nailed it.
Yeah, I think it was perfect. You guys
Probably we've answered everything.
Okay, so yeah, because it's about networking. What is the worst way that someone has ever approached you to try to pitch something?
I
I don't have anything else, so go for it.
When the first thing they say to you is how you screwed up something they would have done better in a movie you made. Don't start with a critique. Don't start with, well, you know what I would. No, I don't want to know what you would have done. It's in the past. So don't do that. Don't do that. Come with even if you didn't love someone's movie or you saw there's things they could have done better. No movie's perfect. Don't lead with that. Maybe don't even mention that. There's ways to focus on the positive. Focus on the positive.
Yeah, the other thing that, most people don't do this, but you're always going to get a feeling. There's a fine line between being confident and being arrogant. And when you're telling people that, the world needs my movie and I should be making it. It's crazy that I haven't been able to make my movie. It's just that just turns people off so fast. Look, be confident in your stuff. Tell me your stuff's great. Cool, awesome. I'm happy for you. But when you come at it from a place of the world owes me something, the world doesn't owe you anything. The film industry doesn't owe you anything. And when you come into it with that, you are going to get kicked squarely in the ass over and over and over and over. You will get chewed up and you will get spit out. So come at it with humility. You can trust that you're good at what you do because you probably are. But be humble about it and don't come in like the film industry owes you something, because people who come in like that very rarely succeed. Yeah. Anybody else?
Do you want to?
You want to hit that, or do you want another? Do we want to go to another question? Anybody else have a question?
Any other questions?
Ramble.
Don't be shy.
Ramble. Well, somebody has questions. You're all
It
trying
can
to
be about anything.
you're all trying to break into make movies.
I have a great script, 200 pages. It's about a World War II nurse. You guys are gonna love it. No.
English Station 2?
Yeah. I just want to thank you guys for being here. It means a lot to a lot of people to have you guys here, and I think I really appreciate it. So thank you.
Thank you guys all for coming. No, this has been amazing.
Question over here.
We got one.
Sorry, not to be indelicate, but I guess what's the best way if you don't really have representation to approach a producer and ask to share your work with them without being a total greaseball about it?
I think it, it depends who they are and what they're making. I would say don't lead with it. Don't make it feel greasy, the only reason you're talking to them is because you're trying to get something out of them. I would say if you're kind of new and this person's really entrenched, then there's a very good chance they may not read your script. They read a lot of scripts, and I'm to the point where I literally can't keep up with the scripts I get. I read one a day and 3 sprout up. It's never ending. And but I think just come at them like a human. Talk about what don't immediately don't go in there thinking if they don't read my script it's a bust. Go in there and talk to them and get information and chat with them. And they may, if you come in it that way, you have a better chance of them being yeah, you sound great. I'd love to take a read or something like that. Than the other way where if you just kind of blurt it and lead with it, you're probably just going to get stonewalled. So I think getting people to read your script, I mean, just flat out, getting people to read your script is really hard. It's a time commitment, and people that read scripts read a lot of fucking scripts, and like, it's just really hard. And so I think, like, I would say, don't come at it with that being the ultimate goal. If that happens, awesome. But like, I think come at it with like, just like what can you help me with? How can I pick your brain on stuff? Like, what should, like, just, if you come at it with smaller stuff and you really hit it off with the person, there's a better chance that they'll want to do it than if you just kind of jump ahead first.
Can I? Yeah, I would definitely second that. That if you can make a, as we keep talking about, make a connection and find a way in. It's like with any conversation you have with anybody. If you can find a way in that you're like, oh, this would hook them, do it then. And by the way, through conversation, you might discover this may not be the right person to read my script anyways. The other thing I'd say, and to your point, if they do say yes, understand they're busy. Don't call them in 2 days and be like, so wait, what'd you think? Like, give them time. I always tell everybody, feel free to bug me if it's been more than a couple weeks.
Yeah.
But like, I assume, like we all have like we get tons of material, but also to everything we're saying, I've gotten a lot of things in my life just out of cold calls. And so it's fine to do that, but just know that you also will be told no many, many times, and you just keep talking to people, and as we keep saying, meet as many people as you can, because you never know where a connection's going to come from or where that might lead to, either business-wise or just friend-wise.
I think also it's something that there's a spectrum for it depending on where you're at. Like if you're at a film festival and you're networking, there's a bit more of an expectation that you're going to talk turkey. If you're at someone's birthday party and they introduce you to someone, it can be you have to be really much more careful about it, or else you can come off the wrong way.
Don't ruin the bar mitzvah.
And then it's more like, okay, this is gonna have to be a slow con. Like you talk a little bit, and again, like you're saying, it also like goes both ways. Like you might not want this person to read your script after you talk to them for a minute, and because you have to find the right partner for yourself too. But if you are in a situation where business is okay to talk about, you talk business, and someone opens the door, they want your contact information, or they sound interested. What I like to think about is make it as easy for people as possible. Like maybe be like, I'll follow up with a pitch, like a log line, or I love to make rippomatic like trailers. I like to make little 1 minute, 2 minute things. They're like, this is the movie. Especially like as a director, I like to do that. Give them something short and sweet that can just like kind of get them more interested. You really just kind of have to slow roll it. But yeah, if you're in a situation like this where you're meeting a lot of people, it's totally fine. It's expected. We're all here talking business. It's just you gotta gauge where you're at, and then like you're saying, like it actually helps me to be bugged, but not right away. Like get 2 weeks, in 2 weeks, bug me. Another 2 weeks, bug me again. Because honestly, like you're saying, there's just too much. And
I never get to read the shit I actually want to read. It's
No,
always
you
like
can't.
the high-profile crap you have to read. And it's like,
Can I say, I've had this James Cameron script that he wrote back in like 1997 that I've been meaning to read, and I've had it for 5 years.
Yeah, we want to read, and I think there is something about someone who feels hungry that we're like, oh, okay, they have the energy for it. And most importantly, if someone takes the time to read it, be receptive to what they say, because it takes so much time, and if we give you notes, that means we spent time on it. Like we spent, for me to do a full read and like make notes, it takes hours. And so the worst thing you could ever do is if someone gave you their time and you shut them down, or you say, no, you're stupid, or you didn't get it, or you just fight them on everything. And sometimes you're gonna get a dumb note, and the reaction is the same either way. Say, thank you, I'll think about that. Whether it's a good note or a bad note. And sometimes I hate a note, and then the next day I'm like, oh, no, fuck, they're right.
I have a follow-up for this.
Yes.
So, taking notes, like director development, so I give a lot of notes. There's no, especially if the reader knows, like, look, if the reader does this and this is what they do and they know what they're doing, oftentimes there is something behind that note. And even if the note itself doesn't make sense to you, think about why someone landed at that note. Even if like you're like, I'm pretty sure that this character is likable, and I think they're likable, and you don't think they're likable, even though likable is kind of bullshit. But it's an example. But like, you think about like, oh, maybe the first time we meet them, they're standoffish, and the first time you meet anyone in the script is the huge portion of like where you make up your mind on somebody. And so think about the note behind the note and why people got to that, even if you don't just brush off the note without thinking about it. And just a couple of other things, if you do get someone to read, this is like good practical advice. If you do get someone to read a script, make sure that script is in a place where it's ready to be read.
Yeah.
You only get one shot.
Yeah.
If it's not good, if it's got spelling mistakes, the first couple pages are a slog, you're going to lose people, and you're never going to get them back. And the other thing is, like, again, make sure you send them a script you're ready to be read. If someone sends me a script, and like I'm a pretty nice guy, but if someone sends me a script and then 4 hours later is like, actually, never mind, read this script, I'm out. Like you sent me a thing that clearly wasn't ready. You didn't have any
You
respect
knew
for
wasn't
my,
ready.
you didn't have any respect for my time, and then 4 hours later sent me
What a
anything.
waste of time.
Like, how do I know you're not? I'm not going to read 30 pages, and you're going to be like, actually, don't read that one. Read this. Like, you only get one crack at it, so make sure you put your best foot forward.
That's great.
Yep, 100%.
I can piggyback off.
Yeah.
But is it obviously there's certain people that you'll just get a script from, you'll read the script, but to newer
He
people.
won't even read James Cameron.
I can't.
So there is no one for him. He's just rarefied it.
That's it.
Sorry.
Let's say it's just somebody like you're hungry, you're a filmmaker. Like, would you prefer treatment and outline first, just a little bite of something? Like, are you gonna read a full script?
I mean, I think it depends. If it's someone that you're like shooting a shot and you don't know well and they're busy, then yeah, I think a bite-sized version works better. If it's someone that you know pretty well and you know will read the thing, like send them the thing. Like, but I think yeah, if you're coming at someone that their time is precious and like it's hard to nail them down, then if there is a easier, less labor-intensive way to do it, do that. I would think.
Anyone else? Oh, sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I was going to
Okay,
add
yeah.
real quick that it just just basically be respectful of the reader and what. Obviously, we have a lot going on in our lives, and we're also creative. So yeah, anytime you can, as Meredith said, as you said, can make it as easy as possible for us is always the best way to do it.
Yeah, that was another thing. Because also we don't want to waste your time. If you start talking to me about something that's just a straight drama, even though I come from theater, I don't love doing drama in film. And I might be like, is anyone like really a ghost?
Are they a time traveler?
Really, really a werewolf? And I might be like, I mean, you never know. Maybe something will really strike me if it just hits me, where I live. But that's also a good way for you to kind of be like, is this even going to be, something they're into?
And from your perspective, are you honest about that off the jump? If somebody sends you a bite-sized something? And you're
As
like,
a
I don't
producer,
think
when I
this
get
is-
something, yeah.
You're
Oh
like,
yeah.
I don't think we're
Yeah.
a good fit for this. You might be better off.
Absolutely. We've definitely been in a position, even where we really loved something, but we just were so not the right people. And then we've recommended it to people. We're like, hey, I know you're looking for something, you should check this out. That's absolutely happened. A lot of the times we'll read something and we can see the talent, but it's just like, kind of what I was saying earlier, it's like, yes, you're doing the homework assignment, but I'm not moved. Like, it's not getting me. When I read things as a director, for me, what gets me excited, or when someone tells me a story, what gets me excited is if I can see it. Like, I start to see it. I get so caught up in it, I can see it. And that's something that's kind of hard to define what I'm looking for, but, you either do it or you're not. And if I'm not feeling something, I will say, I love what you did with this, I love what you did that, you're great at this. I'm not looking for something where it's an all-male cast. I will probably never be interested. It's just, that's more boring to me. And then that's just me,
Yeah.
and I might say that because, and I'll make sure if it's like, hey, this is something that's interesting to me, but where you kind of zigged instead of zagged for me is here. The better relationship I have with someone, obviously, the more I'm going to extend that, because we also have to protect ourselves. If you don't know someone very well, there's a lot of people in this business who can take things very poorly. So again, it comes back, I think, again and again, to relationships. Really cultivate those, really talk to people as people, become friends with people as people.
I will say too, when you get, not everybody, but like when you get stuff from agencies, when you get stuff from other producers looking to get you involved in a project or something like that, oftentimes it comes as a couple sentence log line with a pitch deck. And the reason for that is because it's really labor intensive to read a script. And so like 99 times out of 100, I can get an email with a log line and a pitch deck. And if I read those two things, I'm pretty sure I know where I'm going to stand on that thing. That doesn't mean I know how good the project's going to be. The script may be garbage and the pitch deck looks great, or it may not. But at least I'm going to know, wow, this seems like something I'm into.
Or if you already have it, if you already have something like it.
Yeah, well, that's another thing that happens a lot too.
Yeah.
Is this is a really cool thing, but I've already got another thing
happens a
similar,
lot.
so can't really do anything with it. So I think anything that kind of cuts through that is good.
Let's give it up for a panel.
Hold on, she had a question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She had a
I'm so
question.
sorry. This guy's fine.
I promise it's a quick question.
Doesn't have to be.
No, it doesn't. I'm going to talk for a very long time.
Yeah.
So don't worry.
So with everything in the industry kind of being decentralized, like LA not being the hub that it was after the writer strikes, Atlanta kind of moving away from things, everything kind of going to Europe, would you say that there's an essential place that you need to be in the film industry today, or is it kind of at the point where you can live anywhere and still try to get involved in network, or is it still LA?
Anyway, this has been great, and I
This is a.
I think we will have different answers to this. I think.
yes.
It'll be an
Are we
interesting.
all in LA?
No,
I'm not in
No,
LA.
you're not. Okay.
So we're gonna have different answers.
Yeah, no, I'm in LA, and I've been shooting out of the US and other states as well, but I still feeling that LA is the place to be, to make a connection, or even though if you're going to, other festivals like Cannes or Venice, or you're going to be meeting a lot of filmmakers that still live in LA. So when you come back to LA, you can grabbing a coffee or keeping the connection. So I still feeling that LA is still a good place to make connections and do deals, make deals.
I think, look, with Zoom and with some of the other technologies, I don't think it's required anymore. I will say it kind of depends what level you're at and what kind of movies you're trying to make. I have never lived in Los Angeles. I've made 22 movies, some around 20. I've made 20-something movies, and I've never been in LA for longer than a week. If I start making Conjuring movies, then I probably need to be in LA. If you're daily dealing with studio stuff, dealing with that level of stuff, then yeah, you probably need to be in LA. But if you're making indie movies and you're chasing tax incentives, which is kind of our playbook, which is we're an indie company that shoots where the tax incentive makes sense, there's really no reason we need to be in LA. But again, if we start making movies with Paramount and start making movies with companies like that, then the business is in LA. So I think it kind of depends the level you're at and what you're trying to make. But as you go up the ladder and start dealing more with studios, then I think it becomes more and more necessary to be in LA. But I don't know that it's ever been easier to not be in LA.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree that certainly from a production standpoint, you can probably live anywhere. And we know one of the stunt guys that he didn't work on this movie, but we met through Sherlock Holmes. He's from New Zealand, and he now lives.
His wife's from America.
His wife's America, and they live in Majorca.
Yeah.
And so you can do that, and it's and I think if you're just doing production, if you are someone who is more focused on, certainly for me or for us, with development, meeting with writers, and as you say, dealing with studios and kind of the more corporate executive side of things, it makes sense to be in LA. And the other thing I'd say is it is helpful for networking, because you'll just be at a restaurant, you'll see that person, you're like, oh, I've been trying to call that person, but here they are, and I can just go talk to them, and that has been very beneficial.
Yeah, I always feel bad with this question because LA has never been more expensive, and it's never been harder, and it's just and the work has gotten more scarce. But if a lot of what we've been saying tonight is make friends, build a network, you will go to that birthday party and you will meet someone who's hey, I just really love making $1 million, horror film. And you're like, oh, that's interesting. I know someone who's trying to do that. Or you might meet someone who's like, if you find something that is $25 million budget and worth it, like has a big trailer, could get a big cast, I desperately need that. Like, cool, okay, I can maybe talk, there's the opportunity for opportunity is in places where you're going to be able to make connections with them, and that's LA. But I mean, there's also those communities that do exist, in Atlanta and Chicago and Vancouver.
And you were in Austin for a while.
In Austin, there are places. It's just I think because it's such a trust-based business, there is no replacement for meeting someone in real life.
And just seeing them around and like just becoming comfortable with them, yeah.
And also because things don't happen overnight. You meet someone at a party, you'll meet them like next year at the same party. In the third year at that party, you'll be like, oh, hey, I just read this thing, or hey, I just wrote this thing. It's cumulative. It goes over time, and it's hard to I think specifically for like writers, directors, it's really hard to recreate that somewhere else. Having said that, don't spend your money until you're ready. Like you were saying, don't waste the read until the script's ready. Like, do everything you can to get better at your craft. You can meet people who live in LA, blah, 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 online, who can give you great feedback, over Zoom. Go to classes. Just get there, like, winning contests, whatever is the way that you can have a metric that you know that you're getting better. I would say don't come out and spend that money until when someone says to you, what have you got, you have something ready.
Yeah, have a body of work ready to go. Yeah.
Oh, and I just want to say one last thing, just in case we're wrapping up. Always keep this in mind. We want you to succeed. We want the script to be great. When we open it up, we are so hoping, like, please be great. If someone's giving you a note, it's because they want it to help you be better. I think there's sometimes people think there's an adversarial attitude between execs and writers or execs and directors, but in a perfect world, the reason we started our company is because Ethan is my producing partner when I direct, and having a creative producer, someone who is in the trenches with you, and when you are like cannot see the forest for the trees and you're stuck and you're like, I don't know if I need this shot, you can talk about with someone who you trust creatively, who is looking at it from a producer point of view. Like, we want to be partners, and people who take the time want it to be awesome and want the best for you. So please don't fall into the jaded thing on the creative side of being like, oh, they don't want to like anything. We would love to like it. So please know everyone's in your corner when you go in that, when they start to open your script.
I told you that was a show.
Is there any other questions before we wrap up? Amazing. Where can folks find everybody on social media?
I have an Instagram. Okay, yeah. Is that it? Okay. Yeah, it's Humberto Rosa official.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram as well. I think it's Cameron_R_Burns. I'm also on Blue Sky. So you can find me there.
Meredith has Instagram.
Ethan's on there, and he has exactly
zero
posts.
posts. I'll get better.
It's the right number.
I will say this, our website, berylliument.com, beryllium like the element, if you're wondering how to spell it, I don't trust myself to do that right now. Berylliument.com, that, at the bottom is a contact form, goes directly to us. So that emails us. And then I'm on Blue Sky with Merberg, MEREBERG, and then on Instagram, Berg Ervin, so MEREBERGERWIN. And please reach out.
I left one out. Also, yeah, you can find me and find our company at paperscrewpictures.com.
Awesome.
Let's give it up for our panel.
Thanks, everybody.
Once you get to our CEO sessions tomorrow, for the rest of the time here, you can drink, meet somebody new, until closing time.
Then you have to fuck all the way off.
Humberto, take us away.